this is not a diss to no rapper or no MC, but I'm just looking at their ways. Jim Jones is a trip. Let me tell you why. I like Jim Jones. I like his music. I like some of the stuff he doing. But you dissing Cameron is clown. Let me tell you why. Because you was claiming blood when? Because all I know is when I followed you guys from way back when let them know, and my block and all that, I ain't never see when you was Cam's hype man, you throw up a blood sign at one time. Now you must have became blood because I'm from the city and I'm a Blackstone. Well, I was a Blackstone Ranger, but you know I'm older now, so ain't nobody trying to be running around doing all that shit. We older now, and so it seems like to me, his Jim Jones built his way up, but he built it late, so he became a blood later, and then started getting street cred. He used to get chased. True Life used to be running him all around. He never had nothing to say. He wasn't throwing up blood then. Was he saying it then? Because I don't remember it being then. Then it seems like he became a blood so that he can have protection. Because if you become a blood when you 30, it was because I'm just saying when you become blood. Because I don't recall him ever throwing that shit up unless he was just not doing it. But I never recalled him doing none of that blood, saying blood and all this shit from 90 something because that's when I was a smo with 90 something. So you in 90 something and you saying that, okay, you waiting to 2000. Even when he made Ballin', it wasn't nobody, I didn't hear blood or nothing. I only heard it when he started coming out with Certified Gangster. So that means you became blood when? Like not too long ago. It wasn't, you had to be in your 30s. And then now you're gonna get on cam and say, you never had a street fight, you never had a block. And I'm sitting there going, I had an opportunity to get a block, but I didn't want it. You know why? Because you know what come along with that? Murder. Because that's what's gonna happen. It ain't finna be, you ain't finna get nobody, and some murders ain't finna happen. And I knew that. I knew what was gonna have to come with all of that because I knew who I was around, what was around. This guy, he going saying all this, and I'm sitting there going, man, how old we get when we still saying shit like that? How old we get when we become like, okay, you was a blood, and when you were 32, and you about 50 right now, so yeah, I could say when you turn 30 something, you probably came. That's late as fuck to be becoming a blood. You wasn't that before. You wasn't never saying it. So you must have recently just became it. What I'm saying, recently means if you wasn't that in the early 20s to teenage. Because I know when I was a teen, I was a vice lord. Then I went from a vice lord to a Blackstone. But I didn't become vice lord or Blackstone when I turned 32. I was already had been there. I already had been that. So when you turn like 35 or 37, 35 or 37, you should be done with that shit. Like 35 is the max. You should be like, I did my shit, you know, because if you go to prison after close to 40, you might as well forget all kind of shit. So what I'm saying is, when you younger and you do your stuff and you do all this, you get older, you're not supposed to even be doing that type of shit. Because when you're young, you do that. Because when you're young, you think you know everything. And when you're young, you do that shit then. But you don't still be 50 talking about it. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. I don't remember none of that blood shit being in New York and nobody was talking about it back then. And then all of a sudden, it's you that, but you wasn't saying none of that back then. When the West Coast was going crazy with that shit, the game and all of that started saying it. Now everybody started being a blood, but it wasn't before in New York like that. So what I'm saying is, why if it wasn't in New York like that before, and you in the boroughs or you in Harlem and you in Bronx or whatever, and you just start spitting it out your mouth, blood in 1990 something, I ain't never hear you say that. I ain't never hear nobody say nothing into 2000 and something, which would have made you up a little bit older if you finna be 50 now. So you just do the math. You wasn't. It's like you must have just became it, because I'm looking at JoJo Capone and what he was saying about JoJo Capone and True Life and what they were saying about it. Nobody was saying he was ever a blood or none of that. All they was just nobody was ever saying that. Then all of a sudden now you just I'm a blood and now I'm finna be the hardest dude and keep on being in the booth, which you wasn't doing that back then. So now it's a late start to the game banging, to the late start to the game banging, late start to the fucking trying to be an MC, to late start wasn't doing it, went from young up. He wasn't doing it then. So if you wasn't doing it from young up and you just now doing it, you of course you're gonna still act like you young, because you're late to doing all of that. Because when before you was getting chased by True Life, JoJo Capone, and all them other mother, is what I'm saying. It wasn't. I'm from the city of Chicago. He wasn't doing that. Wasn't even. I ain't. All I know is I saw what JoJo Capone was saying and True Life was saying. That's it. I didn't see none of this blood stuff when they were saying all of that. So that means even back then you wasn't a blood. You couldn't have been, because you would have said something about it. You'd be like, well, we bloods over here and you ain't finna come with that mess True Life. You know what I'm saying? None of that was being said. So what nobody talking about, I ain't hear blood, nobody ear. So now you saying blood this, blood that. Yeah, you can get to know some bloods after 4 years of being it. If you've been a blood from 30 to 50, yeah, you got 20 years of being that. But you started late. You know what I'm saying? It's 30 years, John, you becoming that. 30 years old, I'm 30 years old when you should be knowing better and on your way out of that shit. Motherfuckers is like, I'm gonna be 30 something and then claim this shit for 15 years and finally get build some steam on it. So now everybody is a sucker, and this dude ain't never had. I'm followed that shit from day one. All of them and their activities and what the fuck how they was moving and throwing up and what they wasn't throwing up. I ain't see it. I saw Dipset being thrown up, but Dipset didn't say blood set. So I don't know, man. It's just people acting too hard, and they was getting chased and ran around and wasn't claiming that until later on, like what I didn't hear none of that back in the 90s. I ain't none of that. When Fabulous and Cannabis, Fabulous and Jada Kiss and all of them and doing all this, and everybody was rapping and DJ Clue tapes and CDs and all of that. I ain't hear no Jim Jones say not one time, we bloods over here, we 9 Trey and this and that. I ain't see none of that. That shit just happened not too long ago, which makes you a person that's think people stupid that don't know nothing about the gang bang shit, or was seen it or been around it or shot motherfuckers or stabbed people or did none of that. You act like it ain't no. It's like if you pay close attention, you'll see that people are just recently doing shit and they run around acting tough. Chris Brown too. Get with me and get with me. Now you're blood. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's what I'm getting at is it really that shit. What matters is can you rap? Do you got bars? Fuck all that shit, other shit you talking about. Because most motherfuckers are fake bloods and fake this and fake that anyway. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them don't know they lit, don't know they papers all the way up and down, got pages of the shit like I do. So what I'm saying is, they don't even be knowing it. They wasn't given to them by official people or nothing. They wasn't official when they made them that. It's happening everywhere. So people just doing anything so they can seem tough, and it's like killing me because they got bullied most of the time. Oh, I got bullied most of the time, So now, or Chase by True Life and all these other. So now I'm finna I'm the blood now, and you ain't finna do nothing now. You see, that's all that shit is. What I see, man. Past all that other stuff, that's what I see. I'm a blood now, and try it now. But you're too old. Nobody care now.